Greetings, gang. Okay, it's been a week, and the big question comes into play is, was it all worth it? Now, y'all know that I spent 3 years putting together, saving for, assembling this whole run my house on my own grid solar system. And, well, some people may question how I did it, why I did it this way. That's fine, okay? I want to explain what I did, why I did it, and how it's working. Okay. Before I get into that, I want to make sure we set the record straight. I purchased most of what I have. No question. One of the Delta Pros, the Delta Pro Ultra, and the Delta 2 I was given for review by Wellbots. Okay. So I want to make that clear. The other Delta Pro, all four of the batteries, the smart panel, all the Delta 1300s I have, the Delta Pro Max that I have, all that, yes, me and Mrs. P purchased. Okay, so no, this isn't something that we were able to put together just because it was given to us. You guys know as well as I do, most of the stuff that we wind up giving away to somebody else in contests. Okay, so I want to show you what we did and how this all is hooked up. Okay. Now, most of the EcoFlow stuff is Bluetooth enabled, which is great because I can control my entire house from my phone, regardless of where I am. If I'm 20 miles away, I can still change stuff over, flip it, and do whatever I need to do. Everything that I've got hooked up is all UPS, uninterrupted power supply. So while my main house, the main circuits, the non-plug-inable circuits in my house are hooked to my Delta Pro system, other things that can be plugged in are not. So they're hooked up separately. Now, to give you an idea, my two 7 cubic foot freezers are hooked up to Delta 1300s as UPS. So they're plugged into the batteries, the freezers are. The batteries are plugged into the wall, so they constantly get grid power. So they're full. And then they're plugged into a alarm in case the grid goes out. I know the grid goes out. They'll automatically kick into battery power, and as long as the batteries have some charge in it, my freezers don't get lost. The Delta 1300s are not Bluetooth enabled, so therefore those I can't check by my phone, hence the reason there's the alarm on them. So if we take a look at this, okay, and this is the first of two, the screenshot here from my phone, what is being controlled. The one that says bottom power 1, that is my bank of 1 generator, 2 extra batteries that is tied into the circuits in my house. Okay? The things like my well pump, my water heater, my overhead lights, what else is in there? My dishwasher, stuff like that. Okay. The Delta Pro Ultra to the right, okay, that's in my garage. That's got my 17 cubic foot freezer. That's connected to my garage door opener. I can plug tools in there if I need to. That's got enough juice to do anything there. It's hooked up again via UPS, so my freezer's always got backup power to it. The refrigerator in the lower left corner, all right, that's a Delta 2. Reason it's on that is because, again, it's UPS. It's hooked up to my refrigerator, again, via UPS. If the power goes out, the battery kicks in, my refrigerator doesn't get lost. The smart panel, obviously, is just what it is. That's what the whole house system connects to. Okay, so then we look at the bottom units. The bottom units, and the only reason they're set up like this is because this is how they show up on the app. Okay, the bottom units are my top bank of Delta Pro and 2 batteries to my whole house system. Hence, I need the top and the bottom so I can get 240 volt. Okay, and then I've got a Delta Pro Max hooked up to my washing machine. And I know everybody goes, okay, why hooked up to the washing machine? Well, real simple. With the amount of time the power goes out here, I can't tell you how many times we've been in the middle of a load of laundry and the power goes out, the washing machine stops. Okay, so it's hooked up there. It is not hooked up to the dryer because the Delta 2 Max does not have 240. All right, just saying. Okay, and somebody could say, why don't I flip the one in the garage for this one? Yes, I could do that. I haven't made up my mind. I may change to do that so I could hook up my dryer as well. This is just how I have it set now. And again, could I test it all to go through? So, how's it worked? Well, we hooked up last Sunday and shut everything off. The entire house was running on battery power. That was it. Monday was a sunny day. Tuesday was a sunny day. Wednesday was a sunny day. No problem. I mean, we went to bed and we had fully charged batteries from all the electricity we used. We were great. Okay, no big deal. The ones that are in the house, obviously those are still plugged in the grid, so they stayed, the UPS ones. Those still stayed charged, but not a big deal. The circuits that are all in my whole home system ran completely off of solar. Thursday was cloudy and rainy. Friday was cloudy and rainy. Saturday was cloudy and rainy. So where I was getting 1,350 to 1,400 watts on sunny days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if I was lucky, I was getting 200 or 300 watts. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at this picture. This is my power usage for my house for the last month, as you see, from April 5th to May 5th. All right. When we flipped on the solar, as you can see where the little arrow is in the lower right corner, there was nothing coming out of the grid. This is a grid usage graph for my house. Where you see the little bar on Saturday, yesterday, that is because I kicked on the grid to juice up the generators, the main house, off of the grid. Took me a couple hours. I used, I think it was 0.9 kilowatts to juice them up, top off the generators. Now, I know the question's going to come up and say, well, when there's no grid, what are you going to do? Well, I juiced them up off the grid because A, it's more convenient right now because I can, but B, it's cheaper. In a grid down scenario, I have a regular gas generator. I think it's a Champion, okay? And then I've also got a dual fuel generator that I could charge my Delta Pros off of either way. The reason I didn't, well, it's more expensive to charge the generators off of a fuel than it is to do it off of the grid. Sure, I could have burned a couple of gallons of gas and said, spent today's prices under Joe, that would be around here about $7 for 2 gallons of gas to get me what I needed. Didn't have to spend $7 in electricity to recharge my generators. I could have also done it off of propane if I wanted to. But again, that's going to be more expensive. If you look at the cost of what it takes to generate electricity via gasoline versus what it costs to the grid, it's a lot more expensive using fuel. In a grid down scenario, I don't think anybody's going to care. But right now, I'm going to save a few bucks. I'll charge it off the grid. Okay. So that's how that worked. So now let's take a look at my usage. Okay. And where did my power go? And this is where people are going to question me. And it's totally fine. I get it. Okay. You set it up any way you want, but I wanted you to see this. So if you look at this pie chart here, it's broke down for the two generators, the Delta Pro. The dark orange and the light orange, the big pieces of the pie there, are both my water heater. One from the top unit, one from the bottom unit, because I need to get 240. As you can see, about 65% of our power usage was from my water heater. Sure. And somebody may ask, okay, then why do you even have your water heater hooked up? It's using all the power. As I said earlier, we were generating enough power off the roof where I was able to run the water heater. So I don't have to pay the electric bill when this thing is burning, to reheat the water in my water heater, 4,500 watts. Oh, by the way, I'd not pay for that like you'd be paying for it off the grid. You think of your 3 biggest power consumers in your house are your HVAC, an electric water heater, and an electric clothes dryer. Could be an electric stove if you want to add a 4th one in there too. Okay, those are the ones that are going to suck the most power. I was able to generate enough solar energy to run my water heater. I don't have an electric stove, so that didn't matter. My clothes dryer is about as low down the priority list as you could possibly get, because a clothesline and clothespins will do just fine, except for the winter. Okay, and even then, if I wanted to, I could hang them in the house. And the HVAC system would suck out way more. It'd suck everything. Okay, so then you look at the next biggest ones. Well, that would be purple and green. That is my well, the green is smaller, but it's taking more energy from one battery than the other. Purple and green were my well pump, okay? And if we look at the combined between those, it's about 13.5% of the energy we use, okay? It's another 240 device. Yeah, having water pumped into the house is kind of nice. I'm not carrying jugs of water from the pond and then filtering it. How can I look at that? Well, it's running through my water filter in the house. I'm not putting it through my Berkey or trying to use a life straw or anything. I've got clean water. The master bedroom, master bath, the pink one would be next. That's about 7%. Then you get into our living room, our mechanical room, the kitchen plugs. You think that would be higher. Okay, we use the crock pot. We use the air fryer. Mrs. P makes her tea in her tea kettle. I make a couple cups of coffee a day. All right, we still didn't use that much. The dishwasher, there's a heating element in that. The dishwasher used about 4%. And then our kitchen lights, which stay off most of the time. Notice on the bottom of this screen, which is one of the reasons that I did this. I didn't even know this. The grid went out on May 2nd at 10:36 in the morning. Doesn't say how long. I didn't even know the grid went down. We lose power here. Sometimes it's for 30 seconds. Sometimes it's for 12 hours. We lose power here multiple times a month. I looked at this for April. 5 times in April did we lose the power. Okay. But being on solar, I didn't even notice. Again, is it perfect? No. Is it a lot better than being in the dark? Yeah. I know my freezers, I know my refrigerators are not going to have a bunch of spoiled food in them. If the power goes out, well, I'm across town. Or if I am visiting friends or something, at bowling, whatever it would be. I'm not going to come home to a defrosted refrigerator or defrosted freezer. Sure, freezer will last 24 hours before you got a problem, as long as you don't open it up. But, gee, I may have to go up to Indianapolis. I don't know. Nice to know that if the power goes out here, I don't lose all my food. It's nice to know that I have clean drinking water. It's nice to know that I have water to cook with, to bathe with, to wash myself, to wash dishes with, that I'm not hauling buckets of water. Is it cheap to do all this? No, there is nothing cheap about solar at all, okay? Not the generators, not the installation, not the panels, not whatever. If you're a master electrician, hey, and you can hook up a smart panel, if you can hook up a transfer switch, sure, you can save yourself some money that way. Could you do the panels yourself? Yeah, that's not overly difficult, okay, especially if you're doing a ground array. I mean, I built the one in my garage in a day. Pretty simple, okay? All the stuff that I have in the house that is on UPS right now, the extent of the effort I will have to go through if the grid ever goes down is I have to roll that out in the driveway, carry a generator outside, plug it in, let it charge, bring it back inside. Not that much, okay? Not panicking over losing God knows how much food. We've talked about capacity, generators, what you need to do, what your plans are for your power countless times. I put this together because it solved the problem the way I wanted to do it. Is it the way you want to do it? No. Do you want to set up your system with an Opus system or an Anchor system or a Jackery system or a Blue Eddy system or an FF Power system or God knows how many other brands there are? Yeah, it works. It will cut my electric bill. Will I recoup the money? Yeah, maybe in 20 years. But here's my point. If you remember the video I did about a week or so ago, when the Department of Energy is saying that we can expect our electric rates to double, if not go up 2.5 times by 2030, mine's paid for. Whatever I generate from this is already paid for. If it takes me 20 years to recoup my money and prices double, now it only takes me 10 years to recoup my money. That's the point. Is it for everybody? No. Is it affordable for everybody? No. If you live in an apartment, I don't think you can do what I put together here. But my whole intention of moving here was to get as self-sufficient as I could. Well, I can. I don't know what tomorrow brings, nor does anybody else. But what I do know is when it comes time for, oh crap, the world just blew up, I've still got power. And when everybody comes up and says, well, big deal, the world lived without power for hundreds of years, thousands of years, why do we need it now? Okay, great. You know what? The world lived without cars for that long too. I still like having one. Okay, I don't feel like giving up everything. But when it comes time, when everybody needs something, whether it's beans, bullets, Band-Aids, whatever, and so many people, including me, have said, gee, you have silver or gold, that would be currency. And a lot of other people have said, gee, we'll just barter for everything. Yeah. Guess what I have to barter that a lot of people don't? I'll have electricity. You want to charge that radio? You want to charge that flashlight? You want to charge your little vape pen? I got the power. Do you?